с пятачком. А мы идем, я всем расскажу, смотреть питомник Кливий. Приехали хотя бы дорогу разведать. Погода хорошая, наша прохладная. Лето, курточка не мешает, ну комфортно. Ветра нет, замечательно. Ой, тут какая-то площадка, собаки гуляют. Вот он. Вот питомник.
Hi, welcome to Utopia Clivias. I'm Carrie, and this is my son Luke.
Hello.
And we're very happy to have you all here. We have some special guests from Russia, all the way from Russia.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Told you they were international.
All about specific clivias. As you know, this is the time for them to flower. And because they don't flower when the other big miniatas flower, I thought it good to just do a little bit of something so people can actually enjoy these flowers and to teach you a little bit more about them. So I've been breeding clivias for about 27 years. Clivias is my absolute passion. I mean, I eat, I live, I breed clivias. So for me, interspecifics is the line I am very interested in. So most of my breeding is with interspecific clivias. Luke started also a long time ago.
We now
let me tell you.
10 or 11. I wasn't forced into it, but I did enjoy clivias. So, and then it just went on. It's been 20 years already. So I've also, my passion is pollinations. That's what I love meticulously, knowing what we're going to do, what the future holds, because it's going to take years and years to get to where we want, our end goal.
And I'm hoping that one day Luke will step in and take over from me. So I think I've taught him well. Hoping that one day I can also be an old lady that sit on the veranda and just watch the flowers and drink my coffee.
I want to do that first.
Okay, so most people will ask, what are interspecific clivias? So interspecific clivias are basically interbreeding with different species of clivias. So most of you, maybe not all of you know, there are 6 clivia species. The miniata, which is the big flower, which flowers mainly in September. And then we have 5 pendulous species, the gardeni, the robusta, the mirabilis, and the nobilis. So when we breed one of those species with another species, it's an interspecific hybrid. And this is what we've created. 99% of what we see here today are interspecific. So they're 2 species that were combined and hybridized. So we've got a...
One of them. So you can see flowers are tiny. And now with this, and then a normal miniata, something like that. So you cross this one, the gardenia with the miniata, or vice versa, doesn't matter. Then you get something like this. Where's the F1? There.
You'll get something like this in your first generation.
So those two.
This is a
Similar
gardenia
to those colours.
crossed with a miniata.
Where does the orange colour come from?
It's just because most clivias are dominantly orange. Yes. So you can do either from this to that, or from the miniata to the garden, and then you'll get your first generation, your F1. So people will often ask, what is a F1 if we talk about an F1? F1 is for your first generation hybrids or children.
Like a family tree. It's not in the top and just keeps going.
Okay, so
Those are all hybrid. That's a hybrid. That's a species from.
this is a species, this is a gardenia. So this is originally a species. So from your F1, we then go to a F2 or a F3 to create better colors, better shapes, better umbels. So this is your stepping stone to the other things that you've been seeing in the garden, in the pollination holes on the table here. So everything takes time. I mean, from pollination to flowering is a good 4 to 6 years, sometimes even longer in the specifics.
Pink one. This is the mother, or the pod of pollen parent. Pod being the mother, pollen being the father. This pink one has bred this. This other pink one, you can see it's quite similar. Quite similar. Yeah, okay, clouds are falling off. But it's one of its children. Now, this is the brother or the sister. Exactly the same cross. You see, that is much nicer than the brother. But because of the genes, we're keeping it and breeding again. Now that's pollinated again. Now this, so that was just its pollen onto the other mother. This is the mother cross something else that gives you something even nicer.
So delicate.
Yes.
So all three those plants basically are children of this mother plant.
Yes. Okay. Now, sorry, there's another example. This one actually is one of our show winners. It doesn't look like it did go to the show. That's Secret Desire. So it's also, okay, flowers are falling off. That is also a very good breeder. It's bred a lot of very nice things. So yeah, just with its pollen, because it barely makes any seed. So just its pollen that gets put onto anything else. There's one, a versicolor. So you see,
all pollen.
most of them
Nothing
are
from
pollen.
seeds.
No, they're all seeds.
Yeah.
So meaning we pollinate the plants.
Okay.
Because
and
this
then
one
you
struggles
get
to
the-
make any seed.
Yeah.
It barely makes anything. So its pollen is very good. And it's just its pollen used on another plant and it makes something like that. And this as well. This is Pastel Lantern cross Secret Desire. Crossed with this one. Something similar to that F1. And then it made that. So
So can you just tell me a little bit more about pollination?
we're going to get to that now.
Okay, thank
Yes, we're getting to pollination as well.
Alright, so people ask us why do we breed interspecifics? Not only are they more hardy than the normal miniatas because of the species that's in the genetics, they flower for longer and they flower at different times because a lot of the species flower from April to October. So if you're bringing that gene in, you can have flowers from May, June, July, August, September. So you have a much longer flowering season. So you can see what's flowering now. You'll see a lot that have finished flowering. We've had flowers since May. Up until when the miniatas, because the miniatas all flower mostly in September. So it gives you a much longer flowering season. The second reason is the colors you can create with interspecifics. These kind of colors you don't often find in the big miniata flowers. So it's to create new desirable traits and characteristics and colors and their hardiness. And how do you take care of them? Exactly the same as the other clivias. They like shade or semi-shade, but with enough light to flower well, not too much water, a slow release fertilizer, so they don't get treated anywhere else than the normal miniatas.
Okay. Just so we can store it in the fridge and things like that. So we basically take off the pollen. You see the yellow there?
Yeah.
And we're just gonna basically pinch it off. Pinch it off. But you can use an earbud, you can use your finger, you can use whatever.
Show the side also.
And you take
Just something like that. Yeah.
all of that in that one flower, all the pollen.
You can do as much as you want. And you can store it for up to 2 years in your fridge. And you obviously need to shake it. And then you see your pollens on top. And you throw out your pollen anthers, because that will get dirty and it will get wet. You don't want moisture in there either, otherwise that rots. Okay, so our pollen's sitting on top there. It's all sitting on top.
Is there something sticky that it got to the top?
It's sticky itself, naturally occurring, it's sticky. Yeah. I'll show you now. Now, obviously, you need to know what you want to do with this. So that's a green. That's a Ural green. First flower, very nice. So the reason that we're going to do this cross is to make something with green. Maybe in the first generation, second generation, something like those. But we want the green because this already has green. So the flowers are going to be small, yes, because you see how small those flowers are. So now, pollinating. Let's do this. Yeah, it's a big plant, and I don't think people want big plants like this in their garden. Okay, maybe in the garden, but for us, having a big plant like this takes all the space. So we want to try and get them nice and small. That's also the nice thing about breeding. You see how big the mother is and how small the plants get. They become nice and raw and compact. Okay, so now you need to try and look for the pollen anther. Let's see. Okay. Sometimes you can use something like an earbud as well because it's very, very small. Take some of that pollen off. See that you can see the yellow that's on there. Very tight. That's why I said you need very good eyes. And then it will go. See your pollen anther. Your anthers are sitting there. Stigma is there, and it just needs to get pollinated. Just like that. You're going to have to look very closely and see. Pollinated. You guys can come look a bit late and see where the pollen is on the stigma, but it's going to take, it takes a bit of time. It takes a bit of time. You can go on. I'm just going to pollinate. It's going to take some time. Yeah, might as well just do it because then it's done. Okay, need a bit of pollen.
Okay, so when we decide what to pollinate with what, you have to have something in mind. So what Luke is doing there is thinking of something with green in. So he's taking a mother plant with lots of green in, and he's using a pollen plant, which is then the father, also with green in, to create something with like maybe green stripes or green around the edge. Or you can go for pinks, like these kind of pinks, which is also quite popular. You don't often find pink flowers in the miniature shaped flowers. There's a lot of different kind of interspecifics. Like a versicolor but with blush. This is called strawberry mousse. She's beautiful. And she was bred out of strawberry parfait.
Do you name them yourself?
Yes.
Yes.
So when we think a plant is good enough to keep and to breed with, she gets a name. Sometimes some people call them he's, but I tend to think that they're quite feminine. So to me it's a she, and it's mostly feminine names.
And do you register the name?
Multicolor. Multicolor is where there's more than two colors in a flower. So you can see it's got green stripes, it's got dark on the outside of the petals. And those green stripes are actually quite nice.
Okay, so I've done my pollination. I've got the little black book with everything written down. Okay, the handwriting is ugly, but it's mine. Doesn't matter. So now I know exactly what I did with that plant. In case I don't write it on the stem. You see we wrote them with the code. So that's when we cut the seeds off next year when they're ripe, so we know exactly what the cross is, everything like that. Then we write our code on for the seed list as well. Okay, so that's done, that's done. And then we even mark the pollen.
It's also quite nice. A bit of green.
Okay, the future.
So what do we think about the future of interspecific clivias? Well, Luke and I here at Utopia Clivias think that interspecifics are the future of clivias. This is where we can create colors like you can't believe, shapes. Miniatures are all the same shape. Maybe there's big ones and small ones, but interspecific clivias, if you look at just this table, all the different shapes, some more pendulous, some upright, some open, some recurved. I just think there's endless possibilities, and that is why we want to definitely continue reading with interspecifics. We've got a question and answer session.
When do your grandchildren take over?
My grandchildren are 2 and 4, and they definitely are going to take over.
Does anybody have any questions?
Can I just ask
Okay,
a question?
get the microphone, please. Is it working? Yeah. Should be here.
A new child.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great
I think
improvement.
it's worth waiting 4 to 6 years.
Even the size of the plant is half the size of the mother. Look at the colors of that plant.
So you're not sure of what color you're going to.
Такой выставочный вариант. Рассказывали про гибридизацию. Спрашивали вопросы. Поснимать спокойно только сейчас можно. Народ разбежался. Нет, красота. Ну, даже так вот умудряются волшебники нас селекционировать. Очень приятно, что в этот день думают о гостях. И прекрасное такое небольшое кафешечко. Уютненькое такое. И можно приобрести вкусняшечку какую-нибудь вкусненькую, посидеть в уютном кафе, полюбоваться кливиями. Вот такие штучки всякие разные вкусные. Мы сейчас чего-нибудь съедим с Соней. Аквариум небольшой. Замечательно.